The Souls series is famous for its amazing and punishing boss fights, oftentimes throwing you into the cold water, even when it comes to the tutorial boss. It's do or don't. A brutal but genius way to teach the mechanics of the game early. With that thought in mind, I asked myself, how fast can you beat every tutorial boss? We're gonna time from the moment we gain control until the victory achieved message pops up. So let's start with my favorite game in the series, Dark Souls. We choose the black fire bombs as starting gift, run as fast as possible through the asylum and climb up a ladder to reach the store. I enter the boss arena where I line up my foot with this pile of bricks and start tossing 2 fire bombs. While I do that, the asylum demon cannonballs into the arena, getting hit mid-air, chunking away about half of his HP. A little bit of dodging and 3 fire bombs later, we achieve our first victory. This time even in German! The one and only original is next, Demon Souls. We are picking Wanderer as a starting class and start to navigate the tutorial, avoiding all enemies, until we reach this fence, which we vault over. A mechanic that we interestingly enough never really saw again, which is kinda sad. We touch the archstone to get teleported and once again traverse the area as fast as possible, running past all enemies, until we reach the fog gate. And the other fog gate, 20 meters behind it. The Vanguard Demon is a pretty simple fight, one of the easiest ones in the whole series. Just run around him, slap the booty, and repeat until he goes down. We still have to be careful though, because he hits hard. All things considered, not too troublesome. Dark Souls 2 is next, and well, how should I explain it? It's Dark Souls 2! Of course it doesn't have a tutorial boss. Why would it? So, Bloodborne. Same thing here as with Dark Souls 2. No tutorial boss again. Even though you could theoretically count this dog as one, because you're supposed to die to him, similar to a lot of other bosses in the series. But I'm just not gonna do this, because in the end, it's just a regular enemy without a boss bar. Dark Souls 3 is next on the list. And here, we luckily do have a tutorial boss again. The best one in the series so far in my opinion, Gandia. To reach him, we just have to run across the graveyard, dodging all the enemies on the way. Now, pulling out the sword gives us a lot of free damage, and we can strafe his first attack. I picked Warrior as a starting class for the damage buff, together with the black fire bombs, because they do a lot of damage in the second phase. When he starts the transition, we start chucking fire bombs onto him. To be honest, this attempt was not perfect, but it was the best out of all my attempts. But with that said, the next boss has fallen. Moving on to Sekiro, which scared me a lot. In this run, movement matters a lot, so you see me doing a lot of weird jumps to keep up as much momentum as possible and dodge enemies at the same time. It kinda looks funny, not gonna lie. But let's please not talk about those guys with the rifles. I've gotten sniped by them out of the air more often than I would like to admit, and it's so infuriating. After talking to Kuro, we can finally make our way towards the arena. Oh, by the way, did I tell you about the annoying tutorial pop-ups, which other than in Elden Ring, you can't turn off? In this game, the boss wasn't the only thing we had to reset on. Missing one jump or dash could lead to death, which was an instant reset, and those started to add up. In my best run, I also slipped up a little bit here, which probably cost me a few seconds, but I couldn't care less, to be honest. Okay, now the scariest part of all, Genichiro. I had never beaten tutorial Genichiro before this video, and not only that, but with every failed attempt, I had to do everything over again. After a while, I started to get the hang of this fight. We defeated him fairly quickly, but to be honest, can probably also save a few seconds here, if you're better at the game than me. All in all, not too bad. Now, the newest addition to the series, Elden Ring. And funnily enough, this game has 2 tutorial bosses. The Grafted Scion and
the Soldier of Godric.
So, we're gonna do both separately. By leaving the chapel and crossing the bridge, we're already at the boss arena. While the Scion spawns in, we can get an unsheath and a regular hit in. After a few more hits, he staggers, which allows us to regenerate our stamina, get off repose damage, and a heavy attack, followed up by a bleed. I continue using him as a punching bag until he staggers again, marking his demise. All in all, pretty fun fight. Only one left. We choose Samurai again because it's the strongest class and make our way to the Grafted Scion. But this time, we throw ourselves off a cliff. Twice. Also, for those of you who don't know why I'm moving so weird, it's actually faster to hold block and spam jump than just sprinting normally. With this technique, we phase through the Cave of Knowledge, the actual tutorial area of this game, until we finally reach the last fog gate of today. The Soldier of Godric. The most feared boss in all of Souls history. He goes down pretty fast with a simple unsheath, which breaks his stance, followed up by a riposte, killing him. Kind of anticlimactic, but whatever. Now, below you see the results. If you enjoyed this video, you may want to like, or even subscribe, or leave a comment. It's free, and it would really help me out a lot. Huge thanks to Hollow and iLogical Logic for providing some of the footage. It wouldn't have been possible without them. With that, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.